Calling to order the Bath Township Road Committee special meeting for May 4th, 2021.
I can take a roll call and then have each person let us know where they're joining us from. Carl, you can just say the township where you're coming from. So Carl,
Carl Siebold from Bath Township.
thank you, Carl. Mr. Rosecrans,
Here, Bath Township.
okay. Mr. Benzie,
Bath Township.
Mr. Wright,
Bath Township offices.
Mr. Baker.
Bath Township offices.
All right, we can proceed.
Based on the audio that I listen out of this room, do you want to move this microphone?
I can jump a little
That's
bit.
about as close as I
Yep.
can.
There we go.
There you go.
I'll
That's-
speak
Okay.
up.
That'll be better for you, George. So
Okay.
here we go.
Thank you.
Meeting's called to order, so second item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there any
Seconded.
approved by Alan, seconded by Mr. Wright, John Wright? Third item on our list then is the review of the 2021 road projects. Oh,
Should probably vote on that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The third item here, 2021 road projects, provided, the information provided by the county for the contracts. Has everybody reviewed them for the most part?
You want to read them all? That way the people listening can
Yep.
hear it.
We can read them off. So funding sources for the township this year, the Bath Township budget is $397,700 budgeted. Thank you to the board for that, by the way, that approved that. The county pitches in $84,379.26 for a total of $482,079.26. Them are the most recent updated estimates. Project costs for this year, the brush spray. We've discussed the asphalt on Hunsucker down by Coleman and Chandler. The county's gonna look into that some more. So
So probably for Carl's benefit, we should explain why that is. He might not be aware of that information.
it's brought to our attention that that is in the 425 district. And they were looking into the contracts, and that may be the responsibility of another township.
Hmm.
So the road commission is looking into that. And they will get back to us tomorrow, they said. They just need to confirm all the information. So we're gonna hold off on that. That was put in there because of another project that was held off due to construction this year and budgeting, I believe, so. Hopefully we'll have that money.
So
Sure.
may I?
Absolutely.
I know that last night Al had questioned the cost of $90,000 because it was only 0.29 miles, but you clarified that.
Because it's a four.
It's a
lane.
four lane,
Yeah, so that would be the same as a little over a mile.
okay. So it's a 4-lane road, so that makes more sense now. Probably to all of us that cost is
We
so,
talked about that last
Okay.
night. We said the Hunsaker Road is very wide.
okay,
Yes, it is.
okay.
For those who didn't catch that, I didn't catch that in your meeting, so.
That was after the meeting with that one.
Okay,
That was a one-on-one.
As a post meeting.
so I guess we'll continue. Anybody that wants to speak up to anything as we go through the list, I'll kind of pause in between. And then we'll kind of have an open dialogue about the stuff. The brush spray, $5,471.66. Webster chip seal, they're doing most chip sealing this year. They do that every other year in our township. When they're not here, they're in one of the other communities. This year is the Webster Road, Clark to Place. at $39,958.50. Howell Road, Chandler to Watson, $26,915. Slate Road, Webster to Center, $34,975. Slate Road, Chandler to Webster Road, $48,300. Watson Road, Slate North, heading north towards the township line, $65,727.50. And that's our, all our chip seals. We also, I'll cover that in a minute.
Do you know, the fog ceiling, I don't understand that, and I understand the chip ceiling, but what's the fog ceiling?
They've changed over the years. They've changed the aggregate, I believe, too.
Okay,
But also the fog seal helps hold the stuff in place.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
and it dries relatively quick.
okay,
So they do a section, then they, try to keep traffic off it.
okay,
I believe it's only like a half an hour. Don't quote me on that. I'm not
Okay.
sure of the time. But it's a relatively short time that stuff.
okay.
Dries.
So I'm kind of envisioning they put the chip seal and the stone in, and then they
Tar,
stone, and then this fog seal kind of like seals it
Yeah, it's a thin,
down.
yeah,
layer.
thin layer,
Okay.
thin layer.
And
Yeah.
that's the important, basically the important part of what you're talking.
Okay,
They also overband, they'll also fill beforehand, so like, we have Hunter Road out there, that's one area that they'll finish doing some patchwork on.
Mhm.
Right here on Slate Road between Engle and Webster Road,
Mhm.
I believe they talked about doing some patchwork there.
Okay.
Some,
So they'll
they filled some of them dips in, but I think they're
Okay.
gonna touch them up a little bit.
so
And,
they basically patch and they seal the cracks,
yeah,
and then they can do these.
they chip seal first, then they overband, I believe,
Okay.
after that.
Oh, okay,
So whatever's not covered, the big cracks, then they overband,
okay,
which is crucial to keeping
Thank
the
you.
moisture out of
okay.
the road. And then, so next on our list is chloride, $55,828.90. That's 3 applications. And of course, that's weather permitting probably too, and how the year plays out. The cross culvert, they're finally gonna get to that. They've been wanting to do that. They've been patching it for a while. That's on Stoll Road, west of Upton Road, between Center and Upton there in that low area. That is a $16,950. That'll be nice to have done. Then the gravel we're having done this year is the Watson Road, Drumheller to Clark, $11,650.50. Peacock Road, M78 to Stoll Road. That's at $15,504. And then Peacock Road, Stoll to Clark Road. And that's $28,440. So they've been doing a pretty good job of keeping them pulled in, but we're gonna get some good gravel on them, try to keep them longer. Then the mower, the gravel roads, $3,800. And then the overband and crack fill, $24,948 for a total of $469,315.81 minus the 90.
So they only mow on the gravel roads then?
No, they're more on the
No,
bottom.
Yeah,
Cause this one says mow gravel shoulder on gravel roads.
Yeah, that's what it says.
but they have been doing the rest of them.
Oh, okay,
I can ask them to make sure, so we're giving proper information in our
Okay.
meeting.
They move
I mean, I
up
see-
that road.
I was gonna
Yes.
say, I see the mowers going quite
Sure.
frequently,
The main roads. they
but then I
pay
was
for it.
confused by this.
Yeah, this is.
Hey,
what we
Tim,
have to pay for.
we're recording in the meeting. The list says the mowing the shoulders gravel roads. You also do Park Lake Road too, don't you? Or what other, could you explain that for me?
Coleman,
Just gravel, okay. Primaries, okay. Okay. That's-
Okay,
Oh, Slate, Watson.
Yeah, they pay for that.
But they pay for that.
Oh, do
That's
they?
what-
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's not a class
It's
A
not on
road.
our budget, no.
It's like great gravel road. It's not like.
Do you have a quick second to explain the overband procedure or the chip seal procedure if I put you on speakerphone? You guys okay with that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
Okay, go ahead, Tim, you're on speaker
Okay,
in the meeting.
Norm, what we
This
do
is-
with the chip seal is what we'll do is we'll kind of come through there and we'll do some spray patching first. So any dips, dips in the road or, any place where there's asphalt breaking out or anything like that, we'll come through and spray patch that with our spray patch machine. And then when we come back to chip seal it, what we do is we have our tar truck and we just basically spread the emulsion. We come right in behind it with our stone machine or chip machine, spread that right over top of it, just lay it right in and then roll that chip seal stone right into the actual emulsion. We usually let that sit. We let that chip seal sit for usually a few weeks or a month and really let the traffic drive on it. You got the sun, the heat and stuff from the summer. We let that stone really get kind of rolled in there, pushed in there. When we get all of our chip seal done, then we come back and we have fog seal. So
Oh, okay.
we put that thin layer of fog seal on top of that. Is the final process.
Thanks.
So,
And then you overband over that?
yep. And then what we normally do is come back the next year and any roads that we chip seal, because normally when you chip seal, it'll seal most of your cracks up on the roads. So if you come back the next year after that first winter, a lot of times kind of that expansion and contraction of the road over winter time, some of them horizontal cracks across your road will open back up. So that's when we like to come back the following year and try to get all them roads that we chip seal overbanded that following year. So, and because really your chip seal will seal up some of them cracks, but some of the cracks will open back up with just your road movement and stuff like that over winter. So the next year we can come back with that overband and just seal up any cracks that opened up. So it just, you're basically sealing
Right.
your road shut. So
Thank
that's kind of what the overband does.
you, Tim, for taking the call. This is Tim from the Clinton County Road Commission.
Thanks,
Tim
Tim.
Schwain.
Yep. If you guys need anything else, just let me know.
Tim,
Oh,
Yeah.
as long as you're still here.
Yep.
When you're doing Park Lake Road with that, chip sealing,
Yes.
is there any chance that we could get the portion next to the beach that we blacktop a couple of years ago, chip sealed it at the same time?
Well, just so you know, that section of Park Lake Road, I think the only thing that we're going to be doing this year, because we were going to go through and put the fine trap rock over that new part.
Yeah,
But I think the only thing that we're going to do this year, we had to cut a little bit of it out just for cost. I think we're just going to be doing this year from State Road to
okay,
the South County line.
okay,
This year, and then when we come back the year after next, we'll do the other part. So when we come back and do that, we can definitely do that. What
Okay.
you're talking about on the beach.
okay.
okay,
Yep, not a problem.
great. Thank you,
Thank you
Tim.
very much.
We would have done that anyway on the way through. We would have just hit that, but we'll make sure when we come back the following year when we're back doing chip seal. It won't be next year, but the year after. It's every other year. So
Okay,
when we come back, we'll hit that, right along with Park Lake.
is there any chance, they could run through and do the boat launch at the same time?
Well, that one we might have to talk about.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We could definitely do it. You know what I
Maybe
mean?
just provide us an estimate.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Okay,
Okay,
Thank
Yep,
you.
not a problem.
thanks,
thank you
Tim.
very much.
Thank
Yep,
you.
you guys have a good night.
You also.
too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That'd be wonderful for us
Yeah.
because nobody will do it for less than
Yeah.
they will.
Yeah, well, and they're already there.
They're already
That's-
there, they already got
that's-
the equipment.
Yeah, that's the thing is that
No.
it's trucking everything out So they're already there,
Yeah,
and that's why it can be done more economically.
That's wonderful news. for
Sometimes,
these
Yeah.
properties.
yeah.
Yep, it is.
sometimes moving the equipment in and out is more expensive than the job.
It is, John.
That's
just
true.
getting this down.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's another question I wanted to ask. When you're getting late next time. Can we, and I don't know if I asked you or not the other day, can we put a culvert from the Park Lake Road to the lake without going through a holding pond? So that water don't run down Park Lake Road and then
Yeah.
run into
There,
the,
there really is an issue there at Park Lake, near Westwasser Park, and you can watch the water roll right down the road when it's raining.
oh, yeah.
Yes, you can.
There may be, I don't know if we need to have maybe John Morrison or somebody come look at that.
We do need to do that.
Okay,
Let's,
because I think it's been serious and I think it's getting worse.
Well, it's washing out alongside of the boat plant itself.
Yes,
That's where it ends up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
somewhere in that, we need to interrupt that, catch that
yeah.
and get it into the.
So
into
I
the
can
lake.
reach out to John and see if he can come out and do that.
It would be nice if we could get that catch basin thing resolved before they come to do it
Yes.
next year.
Yes.
To see about
Well, I'll
that.
contact John soon.
hate to interrupt you, and let's wrap this
Sorry.
part up. No, that's fine. So the road projects, these projects, just as a note to those that don't know, these were from last year, discussed in our meetings last year. And a lot of these projects roll over from year to year when they're like Cynthia Lane. We don't see that on this paperwork today, but there are many projects that are on conversations that we've had in the past that are put off due to budgeting restraints. So when we see this paperwork, this isn't all the issues that we have with our roads. This is just the items that the county has brought to us for this last season from 1920 or 2020 into the 2021 projects. So, our committee has gotten together with them and discussed those projects. So that's how these come about. They're not just randomly brought up.
The,
Is there,
the county grades our roads 1 to 5. And the worst ones are the ones we always work on. And, that we use their engineers, so we don't have to pay for engineers ourselves. And they've always been extremely good with us.
is there any other discussion on, so that these contracts can be taken care of? Is there anything else you need?
So if we could encompass a stipulation for Hunsaker based on whatever the road commission says, then either we're gonna have to come back together or we can encompass that and whatever happens here, so we can make a recommendation for the board.
So I would entertain a motion as such, I guess.
Okay, how do we want to word it is what Karen is saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have some wiggle room with the Hunsaker money.
Yeah,
Okay.
And depending on what the county comes up with, we either, if they say that's the what's responsibility.
they may say it's Dewitt's, they may say we'll cost share at half, possibly.
I'll make a motion to send the county's recommendation to the board with a footnote on Hunsaker
Okay,
that we may have to get back together again if they take Hunsaker off the table for Bath Township
okay,
and deal with the $90,000 that we have to spend.
Because we do have other projects.
Well, we have other projects, we have a list,
mhm.
Yeah.
and so that would be my motion to go ahead and forward this to the board,
I'll second that.
okay?
Did you get that?
I did.
All right. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Other road topics. Have just kind of an open forum and see where this goes for a little bit, if that's okay.
So, going back to the, John Morrison, the culvert conversation about Westbosser and Park Lake. I will reach out to John Morrison and see if there's something we can do to have him come out this year and take a look at that and make a recommendation to us.
Well, and,
And if it can be handled this year or maybe next year when they're doing
That would-
something,
that would. that
we'll
would-
try to put it with other work.
We don't,
We would like to do that
Yeah.
before we
Mhm.
We don't
chip
have
seal
any
that
room.
parking lot.
we don't have any room to, if we have to pool it,
Yeah.
like they did on the beach,
Mhm.
then we're gonna have to
Like the big catch
put a
basin.
culvert under the road,
Yeah,
under the driveway,
right,
and get down to the other ditch. And, maybe have that as a whole.
okay. Okay,
They'll tell us.
they will tell us. John's very helpful
Yeah, he's very,
and knowledgeable. I like working with him.
We have a couple of those down on Culver Drive where they actually put, a better analogy for it, a cistern
Mhm.
underneath the grate that's what, 3 or 4 feet deep. And the water fills up and then it drains out at the top and goes down to the lake. That's your pool, that's your catch basin, that's
it
everything.
gets the sediment and stuff before
Correct,
it gets to the lake.
right.
Yeah, those are a good plan.
You know,
So often this group likes to do extra work in August. Is that something you would all like to undertake
absolutely.
this year?
Yes.
And how would you like to proceed with the projects? I mean, would you like them to give us a list of recommendations?
County,
Yes.
Well,
Or do
we
you
got a
have
list.
ideas?
we got a list from the last time we were with them
Yeah,
on grading of the roads.
Yeah, which
We
I
do
have.
have road ratings, yes.
And
And
that would-
we also find stuff on our own and it's brought up to us by residents, like the Howell Road
Yep.
incident.
there was some, downtown Bath.
I don't know what you're gonna do with that one, George.
Needed some help.
You wouldn't have a budget for a couple of years.
yeah.
That's, and it was wonderful this year.
Yeah, so far,
We haven't had any rain.
yeah.
So we have a list from them, Karen, that we can go back to.
Mhm.
I think the big thing here is we have to alert them that we may want to do some more work in August once we complete the first list here. So
Okay.
they can start looking at our list and.
They
and
do
making
kind of
some-
know that already.
and rather than get blindsided in
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
August and, well, what are we gonna do now?
Okay,
Okay, so a heads up from us would be really good for them.
okay.
You guys seen the little geese running around?
Yes.
I can't believe it.
They're only,
They
they're
have
smaller than my friend.
So we had the water issue, that's cute. We had the water issue from the park, from Wishwasher Park going down the lake.
Yep.
Also was brought up in some of the other meetings was the roundabouts, that they're putting in roundabouts up there in DeWitt, you know, they
Yeah.
got grants.
Let's call them a traffic circle.
Okay,
Roundabouts have
Okay.
kind of a bad connotation.
Okay.
Clark-
so it's
Yeah,
traffic
Clark-
circle, I
Clark
better
and
write
DeWitt,
that.
I think road, they're getting one.
Yeah, Webster and Clark. No, Webb Road and Clark is getting a traffic circle. Where the exit is there, going to DeWitt Village.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So what was brought up that I've overheard in some of the other meetings was to bring up, trying to make sure our bases are covered in our township, if I'm not mistaken, for Clark and
I
Chandler.
suggested that, Clark and Chandler.
Chandler.
And I also suggested Chandler and State Road.
State Road. Traffic circles.
Yeah,
The biggest problem
Clark
we
and
had
Chandler and then what?
State and Chandler.
Okay, thank you.
in the
Traffic
snow season was they have to be salted. So they're not slippery. And, we don't get the county out here as quick as what East Lansing or the city of DeWitt does, because the city of DeWitt, they have their own crew.
Yeah, but that's true of any intersection around. I mean, look
Yeah,
at Chandler and Clark, they come out, they salt that pretty promptly.
So I know they
I
are,
drive that quite a bit.
So you're in favor of traffic circles?
Oh, I love
there?
traffic circles. I'd much rather have those at a signal light any day.
as long as I'm not stopping in front of you.
Well, you know, it just makes sense to me, instead of waiting for the light to change. And everybody sits there and you got 20 to 50 cars sometimes lined up waiting for the light to change. And sometimes There isn't even anybody in the cross street going across the road, and yet you're sitting there waiting for the light.
The only problem was Michigan State put them in and then 10 years took them out.
Why'd they take them out?
Too many accidents.
Well, that's
I have
because
the answer to that.
people don't know how to use them though.
That's why they took them out. They had so many people from out of town coming there that
Out of country, they don't know. how to
they
use them.
don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's not the problem with the traffic circle.
No,
That's the problem with the driver.
That's correct.
They said the same thing up in Cadillac, and they've been putting them in up in Cadillac quite heavily lately. They've put 3 of them in up there.
Oh,
with
wow.
Good results. And my dad was a fireman, and he was a public speaker when they were deciding to do this. And as a fireman, he said he'd much rather have the traffic circles slow down a little bit for them to get through than have to stop completely or use a middle turn lane to cut through a full intersection.
Oh, good
And
point.
Cadillac's had pretty good results with them. I really like the State Road and Chandler one. I avoid that intersection from State Road turning left
Oh, yeah, I do.
as much
too.
as I can because of the hill.
I'd like to know how many accidents are there. I'd like to talk to Lyle and see what his stats are on accidents there.
That would be quite hard to acquire land.
No?
No.
There's nothing right there on the
Well, you
either.
know, some of these concepts that we've worked on over the years, for instance, Saginaw Street, where they changed that all completely, all the way to town. You have to go past the intersection, turn around and come back. Well, then they do a traffic study after they make all those adjustments. And they went from, I don't know, 15, 20 accidents a year to none.
Huh.
It really, you know, all those cross-traffic fender bender
Yep.
things.
Mhm.
They were able to, that was quite a remarkable change. Okay. And the issue that Alan brought up with our new intersection down here on Marsh Road, the Marsh Road intersection is, again, people don't have experience with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have to go right and then I have to come back and go through the light to go back to town. If you're not from here,
Mhm.
that becomes a real confusing. And it's the only one in the state of Michigan, so you're not gonna have any experience
Right.
Yeah.
until you start driving that one.
They do have a lot of Michigan turns though, like down Detroit area.
Oh, yeah.
All them roads, Telegraph, all them roads have
Mhm.
some
Yep,
type of
it's common.
intersections where you have to turn
Yep.
right and go across traffic to turn left.
Mhm.
But that problem already exists. I mean, just think of Frandor.
Mhm.
I actually like the new intersection at Marsh Road. It makes the highway going south on Marsh a lot more efficient.
The only problem still lies with the speed limit. We've got 3 traffic signals within about a quarter of a mile,
Mhm.
and the speed limit in there is 55 still.
And you think it should be 65?
Well, the drivers do.
Well,
Yeah, the
let me tell you,
drivers do.
when you're pulling out there, and then cars are coming around behind you a little bit as they're coming through, and you got part of them stopping and part of them not stopping, they can travel a long way at 55 mile an hour.
Oh,
than they
yeah.
would at 35.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then when they get past Myers, then they could speed back up again, but
Yep.
they say didn't want to do that.
And the new cars, they don't have blinkers.
No, they gotta keep the blinker fluid up on those new cars.
Sorry.
All right, you.
Well, if you drive Marsh Road going south, and what's the cross street there? Okemos.
Hazlet,
No,
Lake Lansing.
no, further south, George. Where Marsh ends,
Oh, Hamilton.
Hamilton. They put a traffic circle in there and that's worked real well, I think.
I like that one,
Yeah, I like that one too. And I like the one at Park Lake and Birchip.
yes.
That has really slowed down drivers on Park Lake Road. Because they're coming down the hill and they gotta go through the traffic
Mhm.
circle.
Yeah.
Before, they were doing
Just-
45, 50 miles an
Then
hour.
right up the hill.
Down that
Yeah,
hill.
yeah.
You get up the other side.
Yeah.
I know as a planner, when we discussed the intersection down here on Clark Road, Clark and Webster, for years and years and years, there's a cost of maintaining
Mhm.
any type of electronic
Oh,
device
yes.
Mhm.
that you have up there. And one of our older planners, Jim Spagnolo, used to get real excited when they started talking about making changes, because he was involved.
Sure.
And paying for maintenance for that, for the light. And then we had a change, and they just decided, we're gonna put in a four-way stop here
Mhm.
and take out the electronic device, so to speak. Okay, and so the intersections do maintain a lot, for a lot less money,
Mhm.
okay, if you just have a traffic circle, because there's nothing there
Yeah.
that has to
Right.
change or be maintained or
Nice.
burn energy.
Mhm.
There's some benefits to them.
I'll make a note too that, since we're talking about Chandler Road, I know the county has made a couple, applied for a couple grants down to Chandler Road this year. I think they just turned them in actually for safety and some of them.
I'll work with Karen on what other grants we might apply for the Webster Road
I-
project.
Great.
I am glad to hear that they're doing the Chandler Road, working on safety there. I see bike riders on that road, and I know there was a bike rider that was killed last year
Yep.
near Hawk Hollow where I live. And I just see people on bikes. Matter of fact, I see Dwight Washington a lot on his bike.
Yeah.
And I just worry anytime I see anyone on a bike through there, I just don't think people give them the space
No, they
or,
don't.
and most people are just really speeding, so.
Oh, yeah.
We could joke about it and said if they drove a little faster on Chandler Road, then maybe they'd have less trouble, but it's not
No,
a joke.
it's
They're
not,
driving way too fast.
They
Oh,
are.
yeah.
they are,
And that road is on that mark, and
yeah.
Yeah,
it gets some dips in it. every
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
And I've
And
seen,
they-
I've only lived here a short time, but even pulling out on Chandler, even by the golf courses, with the amount of deer and other things that are traveling through there, like it
Yep.
can be dicey through there.
Yep.
And it gets extremely icy in the winter time, so safety is a good thing to concentrate on that area.
I think them grants have, I think, was it Mark was saying that them have a lot to do with, unfortunately, traffic deaths.
That's, yeah,
So,
That is,
them
yeah.
are, if there's a lot going on there, then but it'd be nice to be able to be proactive instead of reactive.
Yes.
to
Yes, it
things.
would.
yes. Okay,
Certainly. would. I know they're working on that stuff.
good.
Is there anything else? I know Mark also just don't have anything to do with the roads, but they're
Mhm.
still working on still getting them crunching numbers for the Webster Road.
They are, yep, they are.
Just wanted to mention that, that's still on their plate. They're still working hard on
Yep.
that.
We'll be bringing that back to the Webster Road Committee very soon, so.
That's nice.
it'll be very interesting to see if they're able to maneuver the non-motorized traffic over the freeway at that point.
Yes,
Because they own all of the property.
yes, they do.
If you pull the map,
Yes,
they own everything there. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do that.
Mhm.
yes.
Because that certainly would allow a lot of non-motorized transportation to come out of the Ann Drive area and the Park
Yes.
Lake area and the apartments and,
Yes,
that
Yeah.
would, if you can get them over safely.
Yep.
yes,
And
that's the
so
key,
it'll
Joe.
be interesting to see what they say about that.
I agree.
There any other things you guys want to talk about?
I think I don't say.
As far as regular count, other topics? I think we still need to continue to work on like a mix of fixes.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of times we'll do something on the north side of the county or township,
Mhm.
and then on the south side. So we it's a big balancing act kind of with
I'd like to
how we're
get,
set up.
yeah, I'd like to get some numbers from them on how we,
Oh, for
for blacktop.
blacktop,
Our fire department needs that road more than any other road in the township. Especially when they're going over on Chandler, crossing the Henry Place. They'll have to go through that and come back around.
Do you think there would be opposition to that?
other than
Oh, we want to
financial.
have some people that don't want to live on blacktop road, but, I think that it's, for us, it's best for the township.
Police and fire.
But I think you're absolutely correct. There will be some people that will oppose that.
Yeah,
And
we
that-
have
That would
widened
be
that.
normal. That would be
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's normal.
We widened that and we've been grabbing it. So all it should be is basically just grading it and blacktopping it.
It needs some real improved ditching in some areas out.
Well, you got that low spot down there on Ken Ritz's.
Yeah.
That you can't do a thing with. That's the lowest spot in the whole area.
Yeah.
All the way around it, it's
Yeah.
a low spot.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's wet.
There's about 20 acres in there
Yeah,
that,
the soil's not very stable.
Where does it drain?
there isn't. a drain.
No, it
That's
doesn't
all.
drain.
Isn't it drain?
Are there plans, do we know, and a little off topic, for that gravel pit? I mean, I don't know how long that's been in operation and how long that will continue to operate, but,
What are we talking about?
well, I'm wondering, like, will they eventually develop that?
I need to spend a drum on it.
Yes.
Legals?
Yeah, that's a premier question.
Okay,
If they start putting $500,000 houses on that road in that
Yeah.
area of development.
Yeah.
That will cause a change.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, for now, I'm thinking if we were to blacktop it, would those trucks just destroy it?
Yes.
Well,
So I'm wondering, like,
Yeah, because-
when does that transition happen and when
That's
do
It,
you?
it would be absolutely perfect if they were done hauling and they went into the development business, okay? And then you blacktop the road. That would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
lot of sand back there.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great spot for a park.
They do, yeah, they do. They don't come this way.
No, they go the other way.
Joe is, the planning commission has stopped them from coming this way. They
Yeah,
haul everything
yeah,
To
the
the-
whole road
to
is
the
to
west.
the
to
west.
the west.
To
And so
Chandler, okay,
all you'd have to do maybe is from their driveway down,
to Chandler.
yeah, and
Okay.
that's all high ground.
Yes.
Maybe you have to beef up the road a little bit more for them to use it.
We could at least get our mind around what it might cost for us in a year or two,
Mhm.
You
couple
know,
years.
our predecessors did that many years ago, and I remember the cost because might as well done $1 billion, but it was only 3 million at the time,
Oh, wow, okay.
okay? But many improvements have been made to that area
Hmm.
since then, so it might
That would
cost
cost
less
us.
today,
Mhm.
okay? So, yeah, we should get a number.
County always talks about Center Road out there, on Kessler's. They have widened half of that road.
It's just that northern part that's the problem.
northern part that's gonna be expensive. And they always keep mentioning that every time we have a meeting with them.
That estimate was like 350 the last
Yeah.
time I knew.
Little over 300,000.
But that's what happens. It's like this time we put off Cynthia Lane, for instance. There's, not Cynthia Lane. Yeah, there's another one.
Not
over-
Sager? No.
No.
No,
I don't have
Bonnie
no-
Meadows.
Bonnie
Meadows.
Bonnie Meadows, but there's another one over there on our list, which I don't have in front of me, shame on me. That's over there on Coleman and over by, it's on the south,
Masaki?
yeah, over by that way. But Masaki, for instance, that Cynthia Lane that's right there by Masaki,
Uh-huh.
it started off at like 70,000 and then by the time we got to it, it was 140 or something.
And
So there's a
the
lot
more
to
we
be,
can do now, the less it'll be later for us.
right?
Mhm.
But, I mean, you can only do what you can do.
Well,
Well,
right now, because we're making interest at the bank and what we're allowed to invest in as a township is a little over 1% to a little less than 1%.
Maybe
Correct.
It's bad right now.
You get your arms around 1%. If you just listen to what George said, and you do a chunk of road for 70,000 instead of 140, you made 100%.
yeah,
So right
Exactly.
now, if we invest in ourselves,
yes,
we can do very well financially doing what you said.
correct.
Because we can get a tremendous amount more
Mhm.
for money invested in us than we can at the bank right now.
And our audit will be in next 2 weeks.
Should be.
And so we will know what kind of money we will be able to maybe draw out of the township. About this.
You also have to keep it up. So we have trouble keeping up the roads. That's the problem we have now. We can't keep up the roads that we have.
Well, I think
I think we made a lot of progress in that direction.
You look good.
Absolutely. I
You
just,
know,
I'm so thankful.
You know, I'm certainly willing to ask the board for more.
Well, and there's lots of federal dollars coming out for infrastructure.
Well, the match is what's gonna be important, you understand.
Oh, I do.
Okay, we gotta have the match,
Yes, yes,
okay, and that's another way to get paid, George.
yeah, that's exactly
Okay,
right.
you know, these 20-80% grants, you know, for every 200,000 you put in, you get an $800,000 return.
Right.
An investor will take that, you know, all day long.
All day long, I'm buying that stock.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, I'm buying that one.
So, you know, this group has a very good direction and understanding that there's a real opportunity here to really make the citizens some money. here.
Oh, yes. But let's invest it in something that isn't gonna give us legacy costs.
That'd be wonderful.
You know, like, my lady always said, we hated subdivisions. Because it takes money away from the main roads, keep them up.
I'm gonna hear Bob Levy the rest of my life telling me that. I'm on the planning commission building subdivisions and he's telling me how much it's gonna cost later.
Gotta love it.
Well,
Yeah, that's what was going on.
and if you look at the money, it costs us less to maintain a gravel road than it does an asphalt road.
It does.
Yeah.
Lots less. So is it really in our best interest to blacktop a bunch of roads that are good gravel roads?
I think if you prioritize our thinking here as a group, we understand, it's in our best interest to maintain what we have first.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Okay, and then if we're gonna do something in addition to that, it has to be kind of in line after maintaining everything that we already own.
Yes.
That seems to be the no-brainer investment. If I can use your example again, you're talking about $70,000 investment versus 140. Right. And not that many years down the road.
Right.
You know, right.
This chip seal, they say, save us about 10 to 15 years.
Well, 7, I think.
7?
Yeah, 7 to 10.
Well,
Still not a bad investment. though.
Oh, it's a
No,
huge investment.
saves a lot of money.
Some of the roads are getting pretty cracked up, I see. We'll have to see how they look after the chip seal next year, but I just noticed like Watson Road and some of the north-south roads.
I drive Clark Lake Road every day. That road has
You
a
see it?
tremendous amount of traffic on it.
It
Oh, yes,
surely
it does.
does.
It has just an incredible amount of traffic on it, and it's gonna wear out because of all the use.
Oh, yeah.
They're just not gonna be able to avoid that.
Are they still talking about bike lanes and any of the, I mean, I haven't heard of it lately, but I know that they had talked about it in the past on Park Lake Road.
Well, you know, it's not really quite, frankly, Park Lake Road is about a half a step ahead of Chandler Road. Okay, it's not quite as fast over there, but it's not the safest place to ride a bicycle.
No.
Okay, and there are a lot of people, okay, that probably if you made that available, would do that. But it's just, you know, if you take a bicycle on Park Lake Road about 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
Oh, no.
I'll guarantee you will not be comfortable there.
Yeah. And there's only, you know, we talked about a 3-foot bike path on the edge. We only got about a 2-foot.
No.
And you take a 2-foot bike path,
It's be off the road.
Yeah.
Not on the
well,
road.
there's no way to do that around Park Lake.
Well, some of that road isn't even in the right of way.
Well, no, most of it is.
Most of it isn't.
Most of
No,
it
a
isn't.
lot of it isn't, right, that's
All
right,
right, if you're heading out by the old barber shop, that was totally off the.
Yeah. That's correct. Yeah, you're right, Al.
Because you push it on the, put the sewer in.
Right,
But
okay, so where are you gonna put the bike
if
trail?
you're not comfortable on Park Lake Road, where the cars are going supposedly just a little below 25 miles an hour, get out on the real Park Lake Road where I live, and they're trying to get to 55 and 500 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they go to 35.
That car will make you concerned if you're riding a bicycle.
Oh, yes, yeah.
You know,
That's a whole other lane we have to
that's
pay
just,
for too.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, of course, I think we should have fees for bicycles and insurance for bicycles, same as cars have.
Speaking of Bob Leggy.
I was gonna say, I've heard that from Bob Levy.
Should have,
I
should have
heard that
license,
once before.
Yeah,
Should
probably
have
100 times
should have
before.
license plates.
Yeah,
Have to pay for it.
well,
How we
let's
doing on
wrap
our
this
agenda,
up, George.
Pardon?
How we doing on our agenda?
We're doing good. As long as we're just sitting around drinking
think
coffee, I think.
I think we're public and
Public
committee member
Statements, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any public? No?
We don't,
No.
because I couldn't go live on Facebook.
No
So-
public.
So if there is public comments, please feel free to reach out to the township.
Yep.
And
Okay.
it will get directed to where it needs to go, I'm
Well,
sure. The
that's
ladies
correct.
up there are fantastic, and thank you for them and all their hard work. Committee member comments.
The only thing I would like to make sure we remember the boy that died from playing baseball
Mhm.
this last weekend.
Yeah.
The family and everything is, you're sending your kids up to enjoy sports.
Yep.
And you have one die, it's hard. Gotta think about it.
I'm good today.
I'm good. Thanks,
Yeah.
George.
Thank you, George.
Thank you guys for all being
Carl?
here. Carl?
Good, thank you.
I move
All right.
your turn.
I'll second that.
All in favors, say aye.
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 Take
We
care,
are
Carl.
adjourned.
All right, see you later.
See you, Carl.
Bye, Carl.
Be live next time.
Okay, glad to have you.